I choose golf over family. My passion can be the bridge instead of the wedge. Golf isn't just a pastime for me, it's a lifeline. Each Tuesday and Thursday morning, I tee off at dawn at our local club. The dew still clings to the grass, and the air tastes of promise. It's there, under the sound of birds and the satisfying slap of the ball, that I collect my thoughts, shake off stress, and face the day with renewed clarity. My girlfriend, Emma, started joining me once a week, first as a curiosity, now as someone who savors the rhythm, the challenge, and the gentle escape alongside me. I live a dink life, double income, no kids, with a brisk commute from my small row house near downtown. My job, demanding and deadline-driven, gives me the schedule flexibility that allows for early tea times and late meetings. Many evenings, I return home invigorated by a round, ready to cook, spend time with Emma, or dive into work refreshed. Yet for my sister, my choices look like neglect. She lives an hour away with her 2 kids, 6-year-old Max with boundless energy and 4-year-old Lucy who never stops asking questions. We see each other only every 4 to 6 weeks, when I carve out a weekend to help with errands, dinner, or bedtime chaos. She's told me it's not enough, that I'm choosing swings over them, and that my passion for golf feels like a wall between us. Last Friday, after her texting tirade, "You love golf more than you love us!" I slipped away to the links the next morning to clear my head. It didn't solve our problem, but it restored me enough to face it without anger. That's when it hit me, this isn't about me throwing golf over family, it's about my family never understanding why I need it. Being drained when I arrive at my sister's house isn't ideal. I walk in after an 8-hour day, and within minutes I'm refereeing over toys scattered on the floor, fixing dinner I didn't plan, and trying to coax the kids to finish homework. By bedtime, I'm wiped, emotionally and physically, yet there's still work to handle. The weekend ends with fatigue that rolls into Monday, usually without room to recover. The result? I feel resentful and ineffective, not the supportive brother I want to be. My sister's concerns are valid, I do care about her and those kiddos. I value our bond. But I also know that without my weekly green time, I'd lose patience faster, feel burnt out, and by default let both my work and family suffer. That's why I need space to golf. Still, the guilt gnaws. Her words echo, "You never help enough." I've begun to ask myself how to reframe the narrative, not just for her, but for me. How can I show her that choosing golf isn't choosing not to help, but choosing to be better at helping? Growing up, I was the kid who followed my sister everywhere, on field trips, to soccer games, even to parent-teacher conferences. She was my guide, and I wanted to be helpful, admired, and included. Now I'm on the other side, looking for understanding and space to grow into my own strengths without the backdrop of childhood comparison. Revisiting our last weekend together, I remember the frustration in her voice when I tapped confirm on my tea time notification. "Again?" She snapped. I watched her children tug at her, her shoulders tense. That moment cracked me. I realized we're both crawling toward each other, but speaking different languages. She measures time in weekend hours, I measure it in mental bandwidth. So I decide to meet her halfway, not by giving up my passion, but by designing a roadmap that lets both our needs breathe. First, I need to own who I am, and why this matters. Next, I need to bring it to her not as defense, but as offer. Let's plan together so I can play golf and be the uncle your kids adore. This story isn't about picking golf over family, it's about bridging gaps, creating space for both passion and presence. And as I drive to the course that morning, sunlight cresting over the fairway, I commit to sharing that message, with honesty, compassion, and a plan that prioritizes both. That afternoon, after a round of golf, I drive straight to my sister's house. Bag tucked in the trunk, I take a deep breath at her front door. When she opens it, she looks tired, shoulders bowed by one of the kids tugging at her shirt. She meets my eyes, I can see the question already there. I hold the door for them as they scatter inside, and I say softly, "I need to talk." We sit at the kitchen table, where juice stains and toy cars share space with mismatched mugs. The kids play nearby. I start slowly, "I love spending time with you and the kids. You know I do. But I've realized that coming over straight from work leaves me drained. I want to be present, not just there. And I realized something important, when I golf, it's not that I'm choosing that over you, it's that it restores me so I can be the uncle you deserve." I avoid defensiveness and speak with care. She listens, arms crossing and uncrossing. I continue, "What if I planned 2 weekends a month? Saturday morning I'd golf for an hour, then come over right after, refreshed. We'd spend the whole afternoon together. And maybe that one weekday afternoon, you drop the kids here for a couple hours. I can help out, homework, dinner, whatever." Her brows arch. The kids stop playing. It's quiet in that moment. Then she nods slowly. Okay. That could work. We hash out a plan. Next weekend, I'll tee off at 9 a.m., be at her place by noon. We'll cook lunch together, play games, have a proper uncle-niece/nephew day. 2 weeks after that, I'll handle homework help and dinner one weekday evening. We both agree, regularity matters more than frequency. As we map it out, the fatigue in her face softens. The kids chase me when I return, little arms wrap around my legs. I lift them both, and energy surges through me, not because I had more sleep, but because I showed up as me. That night, I drive home feeling lighter. I realize that space doesn't push people away, it can bring them closer. I'm proud of the solution, not a compromise, but a balance. Passion doesn't crowd out love, it can enable it. The following Saturday, my plan is tested. I tee off under a crisp sky, swinging with purpose. At noon, I pull up in time for homemade pizza, hearty laughs, and board games. When I head back home Sunday afternoon, I have energy to write emails, prep for Monday's meeting, and yes, think about next weekend with excitement. A week later, on the agreed weekday, the kids arrive. I help Lucy with math puzzles, her little grin when she solves the last one warms me. Max tries out a new trick with his bike. I encourage him, cheer him on. My sister sends me a text, "Thank you, I could breathe while I handled a deadline." My replies? They're heartfelt and genuine. We settle into this new rhythm. I may never see my sister every week, or babysit full time, but I show up when we've carved space for presence. It works because both of us, sister and brother, feel respected. My golf isn't rebellion, it's restoration. And in building this rhythm, I find something deeper. Passion doesn't replace family, it fuels it. That afternoon, after a round of golf, I drive straight to my sister's house. Bag tucked in the trunk, I take a deep breath at her front door. When she opens it, she looks tired, shoulders bowed by one of the kids tugging at her shirt. She meets my eyes, I can see the question already there. I hold the door for them as they scatter inside, and I say softly, "I need to talk." We sit at the kitchen table, where juice stains and toy cars share space with mismatched mugs. The kids play nearby. I start slowly, "I love spending time with you and the kids. You know I do. But I've realized that coming over straight from work leaves me drained. I want to be present, not just there. And I realized something important, when I golf, it's not that I'm choosing that over you, it's that it restores me so I can be the uncle you deserve. I avoid defensiveness and speak with care." She listens, arms crossing and uncrossing. I continue, "What if I planned 2 weekends a month? Saturday morning I'd golf for an hour, then come over right after, refreshed. We'd spend the whole afternoon together. And maybe that one weekday afternoon, you drop the kids here for a couple hours. I can help out, homework, dinner, whatever." Her brows arch. The kids stop playing. It's quiet in that moment. Then she nods slowly. Okay. That could work. We hash out a plan. Next weekend, I'll tee off at 9 a.m., be at her place by noon. We'll cook lunch together, play games, have a proper uncle-niece/nephew day. 2 weeks after that, I'll handle homework help and dinner one weekday evening. We both agree, regularity matters more than frequency. As we map it out, the fatigue in her face softens. The kids chase me when I return, little arms wrap around my legs. I lift them both, and energy surges through me, not because I had more sleep, but because I showed up as me. That night, I drive home feeling lighter. I realize that space doesn't push people away, it can bring them closer. I'm proud of the solution, not a compromise, but a balance. Passion doesn't crowd out love, it can enable it. The following Saturday, my plan is tested. I tee off under a crisp sky, swinging with purpose. At noon, I pull up in time for homemade pizza, hearty laughs, and board games. When I head back home Sunday afternoon, I have energy to write emails, prep for Monday's meeting, and yes, think about next weekend with excitement. A week later, on the agreed weekday, the kids arrive. I help Lucy with math puzzles, her little grin when she solves the last one warms me. Max tries out a new trick with his bike. I encourage him, cheer him on. My sister sends me a text, "Thank you, I could breathe while I handled a deadline." My replies? They're heartfelt and genuine. We settle into this new rhythm. I may never see my sister every week, or babysit full time, but I show up when we've carved space for presence. It works because both of us, sister and brother, feel respected. My golf isn't rebellion, it's restoration. And in building this rhythm, I find something deeper. Passion doesn't replace family, it fuels it. By the time spring rolls around, our rhythm is steady: 2 intentional weekends a month for sister and kids time, and 1 weekday evening for homework help and dinner. I've come to cherish the ritual, not because I'm obliged, but because showing up fully has become a choice I value. Yet, life rarely stays quiet for long, and new challenges test our balance. One weekday afternoon, my phone buzzes with a message from my sister during my mid-morning meeting. "Can you pick Max up tomorrow after school? Work's gone crazy." Usually, I'd reply with yes, of course, but this time I pause. I glance at my work schedule and realize I have a client call right at pickup time. Rather than ghosting her with an offhand yes, I text, "I really want to help, my call is at that time. What about Friday evening instead? I can pick both kids up and help with dinner." When I get home, she's waiting on my couch, relief in her eyes. "Thank you for texting back. I feel awful asking you at the last minute." I open the fridge, hers is empty from the kids eating everything, and I pull together sandwich fixings and juice boxes. We laugh as Max teaches me the finer points of his science project, and Lucy pulls me into an impromptu dance party in the living room. I'm tired when I leave, but the fatigue isn't the same, it's warmth in my muscles, endorphins from connection. Though unscheduled, this shift works. It tests our understanding and proves our system can flex without breaking. Later that week, I invite my sister and the kids to the country club for a Sunday brunch. It's my turn to blend worlds, bringing my passion back into their space. Emma, my girlfriend, and I watch the kids scramble eggs at the buffet line, earnest and messy. I see my sister relax, free from cleanup because Emma and I step in. Afterwards, we walk the grounds, I share tips on driving the ball, her kids chase the duck pond, and Emma takes a turn trying out my putter while I cheer. On the drive home, my sister thanks me quietly. "Today was good, for all of us." That simple acknowledgement means more than I expect. It tells me our blended rhythm isn't just tolerable, it's nourishing. But not all days follow that script. One evening, I cancel our scheduled weekday help because work spilled late. 2 hours before he planned to arrive, I text, "I know I promised tonight. Can we move to Saturday instead? I'm really sorry." She snaps, "This is when I need you." I feel her stress, the pressure she lives under. I hear my own frustration. I said I'd be there. Instead of arguing, I pause. Later that night, I drive over empty-handed and say thoughtfully, "I messed up. I know when I commit, I need to follow through. Let's figure out how to prevent this again." She nods, near tears, and I suggest a backup plan. I'll connect her with a trusted babysitter list when my work runs late, so she doesn't have to rely solely on me. She accepts it, visibly relieved. That moment crystallizes what I've learned. Real presence means standing by your word, and owning it when you don't. Passion for golf still fuels me, but my commitment, to sister, kids, and their trust, shapes me. As summer nears, we relax into shared Fridays, untimed hugs, and kid artwork pinned up in my office. I see the kids' drawings of golf balls and me holding a club, my sister texting me a selfie at her desk with "Thinking of you, thank you." Our bond bears new texture: passion, reliability, spontaneity, forgiveness. In this chapter, our relationship finds depth, not because schedules are perfect, but because our intention remains, to support, to restore, and to be present, even when life pulls us in every direction. The balance between my world and theirs grows stronger, woven from respect, resilience, and genuine affection. Each challenge faced, each plan adjusted, each apology made, cements our fragile but real alliance. By early summer, this carefully crafted rhythm, weekend visits, weekday evenings, and open conversations, has become steady enough to weather new tests. One Thursday afternoon, my phone buzzes. "Can you pick up Max from soccer tomorrow?" My heart tightens because I can, but the pickup time clashes with my golf tee time. Instead of defaulting to yes, I pause and plan. I text, "I really want to help, could we shift it to Friday evening? I can pick them up from school and take them to dinner." I've learned that honoring my boundaries doesn't mean ignoring her needs, it means offering honest alternatives. That evening, she arrives at my apartment with 3 arms, mom jeans, weekend hair, and noticeably lighter shoulders. "Thanks," she sighs. "This means a lot." I make grilled cheese and tomato soup, simple, but warm. Max chats about his game, Lucy demands my help with a puzzle that's happily too hard for them to solve alone. I dive in. By the time we part ways, my tiredness is gentle, like satisfaction, not depletion. That weekend, I invite my sister and the kids to join Emma and me for a round of weekend brunch at the country club. It's an experiment in blending worlds, transforming the golf sanctuary into a family experience. We start slow, pancakes by sparkling windows, laughter over spilled syrup. Then on to the pudding green, where Max shrieks at his first mini-putt and Lucy insists on wearing my glove. Emma shows them the basics, I help them grip the club, and my sister stands back, arms crossed, but her face is soft with surprise. Later, she pulls me aside. I didn't think they'd like it. I smile. They loved it. But more than that, I loved showing you how some of my world works. But growth isn't always smooth. A few days later, I repel my sister. Hey, I might need to cancel tonight's visit. She snaps, always golf with your girlfriend. The stung feeling returns, we've still got work to do. Instead of defensiveness, I breathe and respond the mature way we practiced. I'm sorry, I don't mean to let you down. If I couldn't make tonight, I'd be here Saturday. But I'll help set up that babysitter list if this happens again. Later, she texts, thank you for saying that. It's a small triumph, she heard my accountability. I dig deeper into the caregiver self-care insights that have shaped us. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary for sustainable love. In her case, caring for 2 kids and a job means my rest time fuels her relief muscles. In my case, time on the course prevents burnout at her front door, and at mine. Grounded self-care helps me show up wiser and more present. When work demands stretch me thin, I communicate early and offer solutions. If stress shadows her life, I understand without flinching from an honest boundary. We both realized caregivers become depleted without intentional restores, and we committed to preventing that exhaustion at every turn. As the weeks stretch on, our relationship deepens in texture. No longer just guilt-swapped weekend helper, I'm a steady presence in her family, not a fix, but a trusted part of the support system. She praises my balance and even starts planning a midweek coffee drop-by after work. I see the moments where she steps back from being reactive and leans into collaboration. We're still learning, there are missed schedules and apologies, but the scaffolding is stronger: empathy, accountability, clear expectations. One evening, the kids crash late after pizza and games. We sit on my balcony with coffees and quiet. She says, I appreciate that you cared enough to find a formula that works. I say, I appreciate you trusting me enough to shape it with me. There's no dramatic resolution, just real, lived reconciliation. We've moved from friction, needs clashing, to function, needs harmonized. My passion and her pace discovered a harmony. Building boundaries didn't contract love, it expanded it. And as the warm evening settles over us, I realize we've created something rare, a relationship built on mutual care, intelligent compromise, and empathy tested by real-world messiness. Over the next few months, our carefully built rhythm becomes the norm rather than the exception. Weekends carry the familiar blend of sunshine and kid laughter. Weekday evening help provides calm structure for both the kids and their busy mother. But life never stays on a smooth path, change lurks in both of our schedules. It starts with an unexpected work trip, booked last minute during my planned weekend with my sister and the kids. When I send the message, with apologies and a proposal to reschedule, I brace for the disappointment. Instead of anger, her reply catches me off guard. Thanks for telling me. I'd love Saturday instead. Relief sweeps through me. She even suggests I share my golf tee time on Saturday morning, reclaiming that morning recharge as long as I'm truly present after. We honor that shift, and when the weekend arrives, I stand on the first tee feeling both anticipation and responsibility. Returning in time, I jump into play with Max and Lucy, backyard soccer, story time under the big oak, warm pasta dinner they help stir. The afternoon ends in whispered bedtime hugs. As I leave, I notice how she waves, no strain in her smile, just acceptance. Then comes a milestone, my promotion. It means more travel and longer hours, and once again our routine faces pressure. This time, I tell her early, new role starts in 2 weeks. I'll need some adjustments in our schedule. She responds with an understanding that surprises me, we'll work it out. True to her word, she redrafts our plan, reducing weekday help but adding a bi-monthly Saturday afternoon visit instead. Their flexibility humbles me and underscores what's changed. My sister isn't reactive, she's a partner. She's not keeping score anymore, she's planning. And I'm not defending golf, I'm sharing gratitude. A few weeks later, I bring the kids to a youth golf camp I mentioned during one of our drives. They watch me swing, then take swings themselves. I coach Max on grip, Lucy on posture. My sister beams from behind, proud and relieved by the change between us. Camp ends with trophy stickers and family photos. On the ride home, her hand squeezes mine and she whispers, "Thank you, for including us." That hush says everything: respect, acceptance, unity. Later, I invite her and the kids to my graduation party, from an online course I'd delayed. She shows up early with balloons and cupcakes. The kids help me open gifts, my girlfriend records moments. It feels like the culmination of months of work, not because of the party's significance, but because of who shows up. Back on the balcony at night, I reflect, our relationship has grown from tension to trust. My golf hasn't dwindled, it's intertwined with family. My self-care became their relief. What once felt like division is now connection. I realize this story isn't about choosing between passion and family, it's about weaving both into a life that's richer for it. We're not perfect. We still renegotiate, we still adjust, and occasionally feel disappointment. But we show up, we listen, we adapt, and that's enough. By early autumn, our relationship has transformed into something dependable and warm. That morning, I wake early and sneak out for a quick round of golf, my sacred hour of restoration that no one questions. When I return, the house smells of pancakes and cinnamon. My sister, bright-eyed and cheerful, has already started breakfast with Max and Lucy. She smiles when she sees me, morning champ. I hug her, then playfully lift both kids onto the counter for syrupy high fives. Work has thrown me curveballs, tight deadlines, late nights, but this routine keeps me grounded. Experts emphasize that caregivers need self-care routines to prevent burnout and maintain emotional balance. My golf isn't an escape, it's the buffer that enables me to show up fully for them without exhaustion. At the table, laughter fills the air. Max proudly recounts his new school project. Lucy interrupts to ask if I'll help her with art tonight. My sister watches, gratitude glowing in her eyes. After breakfast, she takes a deep breath and moves toward me. "You've been so consistent. It means everything." I nod, because consistency was the promise I needed to keep this bridge between our worlds solid. That afternoon, I introduce the kids to golf during their school holiday. We spend sunlit hours on the green, practice swings, exhausting sprints for errant balls, and shared ice cream breaks. Watching them peel off their gloves, laughing at missed shots, I realize this crossover between my passion and their joy has created new memories, for all of us. Later, my sister thanks me quietly at the car. "You didn't owe me that. You chose this, for them, and for me. It's not about duty, it's about generosity." But life brings another test. 2 months later, my sister calls overwhelmed, her job's demands have spiked again, and she's running ragged. Instead of asking me to cancel golf, she says, "Can you take them tomorrow morning?" I agree immediately. It means sacrificing my weekly round, but this time, I'm not guilted into it, I choose it freely. Experts note that setting boundaries and being flexible within them preserves trust and prevents burnout. That morning is a burst of chaos, sleepily grumpy kids, forgotten sneakers, scrambled eggs. And it's perfect. When they head off to school, my sister hugs me close. "This will help more than you know." When I finally get to the course midday, the game is less crisp, but my spirit is at ease. Self-care doesn't have to be perfect or consistent, it just needs to exist. Over the next weeks, we take turns. I help with morning pickups that clash with golf, and she steps in one Sunday to watch me play while Emma coaches the kids in crafts. Our interdependence becomes a patchwork of generosity and rest. The kids get memories, my sister gets support, and I don't lose the sanctuary that keeps me centered. One evening, after a quiet dinner in my apartment, my sister looks around at a framed family photo on the wall. Kids in matching t-shirts, beaming. She says, "I feel like we've found something special here, something I didn't think we could keep." I smile and pour her a tea. Me too. In these final months, our relationship is not perfect, but it's grounded, reciprocal, and evolving. I'm not just the golf-loving brother who drops in, I'm the uncle who shows up healthy, happy, and fully present. My passion became the mechanism for connection, not a wedge it. We built something sustainable, not by giving more or less, but by building around what each of us needs.